Surgery gave me freedom. Hi, Aimer here. Today we're going to talk about names. How can you know that the name you currently have is one you like, and if maybe you want to change it and it would feel better if it would be changed. First of all, I think it's not always that clear cut. It's not that everyone just knows, oh, I need a name change. It's possible you like your current name, but maybe if you find another name, you like this one more. And that's also a way that you can know, oh, I want to change it. The way to find out if you need or want a name change is just trying out new names. And you will very easily see, are there names that really strike a certain chord in me? Like, I feel so happy when I hear them. They make me feel better gender-wise than the one I have currently. It's also possible to already know a bit inside that you don't really like your current name because maybe it's pretty feminine or maybe it's pretty masculine and that's not how you feel. So there can already be some kind of dissonance between you and that name, even though you are used to it, and it's not necessarily that you have to hate it to know that you want to change it. So, trying out new names. How can you find a new name? I would say try to Google some birth names, because a lot of people, they try to find names for their babies online, and depending on if you want a more masc or femme name or neutral, you can then Google name for a boy or name for a girl. Even neutral names, they are more under the boy names section, I would say. But maybe that's just something I think and it's not true, I don't know. Another way to find names is just to follow people who are trans and like look which names they pick. And I think many people do find their name that way. For me, I did follow someone online who chose the name Arlo. And I really liked that name. I actually was a little bit maybe jealous because I was like, I want that name. Why can't I? And of course I could, so that was just some kind of mind thing I needed to get over, that I am able to change my name if I want to do that, even though it can seem like for your parents that it's something you take away from them because they gave you this name when you were born and you're just changing it. But you still have the possibility to do that and explain to them why it's so important to you. So you have that option and you have agency over yourself. So you can do that. But yeah, for me, following a person who was named Arlo really helped me to pick that name myself. I think there were also a few other names like Ren. I really liked the name Ren. It was also a name that I saw someone else using, I think. But it was also a name for a bird, if I remember very well. Since I love birds, I thought it would be nice to have a bird name because they're so free, you know. It was also really something I liked. It sounded pretty neutral. For me, it was really important that it didn't apply anything feminine, because my bird name is really feminine, so I didn't want that anymore. I wanted something that was more masc or could at least confuse people to think I am a boy, or just confuse them like, what am I? So I needed that, and Arlo and Ren were two names that I was really into. Maybe there were a few others, but also sometimes it's a thing if you look into the community around you, and many people do already have that certain name, maybe, well, that can be a reason to not pick it. For me personally, that can be a reason. Like, if there's too many people using a certain name, I think it can get quite not unique anymore. It can feel like it's not yours anymore. And also, if someone calls you, then it's very confusing because all these people around you also have that name. So yeah, that can be a thing to consider. Like in my LGBT community, for example, how many people already pick that name? Maybe if I have different options I like, maybe I pick that other one just so it's a little bit more me and not like 1,000 other people. For me personally, it really helped to try out my names that I liked. I just asked a friend to use a certain name for me. Also to give their opinion, like, what do you think is more me? And it was pretty quickly that we picked one name to try on. And I have to say, like, at first I wasn't really sure that I liked it. I didn't know for real, like, is this something I want to do? Does it feel like me? But after some time, I also asked other people to use that name, and it began to feel more comfortable until I really knew that I didn't even want to be called my dead name. That's when I was sure that I didn't want to be called my old name anymore, and I wanted to change to the new name. I really liked how it made me feel. It gave me more gender euphoria than my old name, that it didn't really fit me anymore, you know? Like my old name, it's not that I hate it. I will never say that I hate it, but it does feel like it's an older version of me that doesn't really fit my gender identity anymore. If someone calls me that, then it does make me feel a little bit, you know, not so happy. Definitely depending on the context, I really understand when someone uses it. Definitely when it's people from my past and they haven't seen me in a while, I really understand when someone called me my dad name, of course. But it's just something that I don't really like anymore. It's still on my identity card, not on the first place, but on the second place. I wanted to keep that for my parents and, you know, to keep that old version of me somewhere. But I would say those are my tips. Try to find a new name or multiple new names. Try them out with friends. You don't have to tell it to your parents or to closer family or anything yet. You can just try out and see what it does for you. And it's possible that you think, this is actually something I do not need, and then you can just keep using your old name, you know. There's nothing wrong with that either. It's just a choice and it's a feeling that you will have, like, is this better for me or not? Only you can choose whether or not you need a name change and which name that will be then. Some people also talk with their parents and they ask them, like, which more masculine names or more femme names do you think would fit me? Which one do you like? And they feel like they can still give you a new name that they also liked, and it's not that you picked it all on your own without considering them. I myself didn't ask them. I felt like I was a grown adult that could choose myself what I wanted, and also I really knew which name I wanted, so I didn't want to hear anything else really. Those are my tips. I hope it will help you to figure out whether or not you need a name change and which name it will be then. Good luck, and I'll see you next time. Make sure to subscribe to my channels Imare and Imare Talks, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Can occupy space in my body. Surgery gave me